Okay, well, welcome to episode 3 of Judging Silicon Valley. Of course, this is the show where we judge Mike judges a show about Silicon Valley. That's exactly what it is.
This is
your number.
Yeah, hey,
That's why he's throwing the email thing to you.
Exactly.
Which reminds us, thank you, Joe Tobin, special guest.
Thank you so much for having me back. It's been such a long time.
And Red's but boy,
it's weird.
The last time we had both of you on.
If I had known I was going to be doing a 2-episode thing, I would have brought 2 clothes, like when you're on a game show.
Yeah,
and they have you bring multiple outfits just so you can film a whole week's of shows
in an hour.
Yeah.
We do the Jeopardy model. We do exactly 13 shows in 2 hours.
45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, podcast at judgingsiliconvalley.com or Twitter at judgingsv. Do it. Send us some Scrum Master questions. That'd be a good thing for people to send.
Yes, definitely.
Or follow them, so they're not just a sad elementary school child.
By the point that this episode gets up, we may have 20 followers. You could be 21 or 22.
You're setting goals.
If you're fast.
Everybody wins in Fabulous Monte Carlo. 21, indeed. So here we have our guests, Joe Tobin and Red Scott. Good to have you back, gentlemen.
Good to be here.
Good to have you back. So we're going to discuss now episode 3. Now I'm going to jump right out the gate here and say this is my favorite episode of the series so far. I know it's only 3 episodes, but this, in my opinion, it really kicks into high gear at this point. The comedy, the writing, we know the characters. It's getting to be a lot of fun. I like it a lot.
This is also the episode of the podcast where we hope to finally have a good podcast.
I hope that every episode of the show you have that same reaction. So
Wouldn't that be great?
I know that I've been saying for the last 6, but this time
I know that the last Game of Thrones episodes there were dragons, but this time the dragons are better.
Yeah. How many episodes is this Silicon Valley?
8.
8.
Season 1. They just got renewed.
Today.
Season 2.
Hey,
we're in business now, huh?
Yeah.
Does that mean that you guys also got renewed?
I think the internet renewed us by allowing people to not listen to us for another whole season.
But I think
so
with any
that means like 320 more hours.
It's true. It's true because it's exponential. It is exponential.
Joe keeps tacking on numbers every time.
8 more episodes.
Every time he makes the same joke.
That was actually just straight up math.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Every time he makes the same joke. Jeff gets mean when he drinks whiskey.
Bourbon, whiskey, scotch, American.
You don't even know. Hudson Baby Bourbon Whiskey.
We can't name names.
This episode's going to be a train wreck.
But if that was what I would bought, it would be 100%
right now.
corn
It's going to be a train wreck.
You're a corn whiskey guy?
46% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, it's a lot of alcohol.
This guy's a corn whiskey guy over here. Do you believe?
100%
All right.
corn.
I got a lot of booze over there.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm just drinking.
Would you call it a
cider
plethora?
right now? Try and help us here. Here's a quick overview of what happens in episode 3, and then we can do a post.
I'm going to time Ryan, and we're going to see if he can do this in less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
Starting now.
Okay. So as Red actually corrected me in our last episode, you're correct. Richard has not actually received the check from Peter Gregory as of yet, and so that's what we're learning here is because he doesn't have an actual company,
right?
So he needs to register the company name to get it incorporated, or at least an LLC, in order to cash this check.
I believe they use.
Hold on, let him finish.
An SS4 is a form that you fill out to get an employer identification number, an IEN, so therefore you can cash your check.
It's also one of the premier Nazi barbershop quartets.
SS4.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, they could be touched.
Oh, no more Jews.
You're not going to hit it. You're at 45 seconds.
They're doing it to me. I'm not doing it.
They're all Jewish.
All right.
That's the best part.
So here's where Richard finds himself in this quandary. It's like, oh, shit, I've got to get the company incorporated so I can cash the check. Yet he had already ordered online a giant box of T-shirts with the Pied Piper logo. We'll talk about that in a moment. Jared discovers, oops, there's already a registered company by the name of Pied Piper.
An irrigation company.
Irrigation company in Gilroy, California. Okay. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. So
how many loads of water do they deliver in this irrigation?
A lot.
How many loads?
You can fit with this compression algorithm. You can deliver a lot of AIDS in that water.
Oh
Jesus
boy!
Christ.
So the team is actually excited about this because they all hate the name Pied Piper. They hate the logo. But so what Richard's challenge here in episode 3 is I've got to somehow get the rights for this name, so therefore I can then register the company and cash the check because he's running out of money quickly. So that's basically what's going on in episode 3. Now, there's a side plot with Peter Gregory involving Burger King. We'll talk about that in a moment, and sesame seeds. But that's really what's happening here. So the real centerpiece of this episode is, well, if we can't have the Pied Piper name...
You were close.
No, damn.
If we can't have the Pied Piper name,
what would we name it? All right.
Yes.
So then there's a very wonderful scene about other names.
Aviato?
Okay. Well,
That was not brought
Aviato
up.
comes up.
so not as okay. Yeah.
So that's a synopsis. I did actually do it. I did do it there. So that's a synopsis. So we open with this, and now all of a sudden the big box shows up, and Richard's excited, like, all right, guys, here we go, and reveals all these T-shirts. It's a green T-shirt.
Now, see, I want to point out, it's a green T-shirt with a Pied Piper on it.
Yes.
That Camille Nanjiani points out looks like a Pied Piper Dinesh eating a dick with a dick tucked behind his ear, like a snack dick.
A snack dick.
Now,
snack dick, yeah.
that I think is a perfect moment. You talked about in the last episode, engineers just saying it like it is.
Yeah.
That is something an engineer would say in a meeting.
Yeah.
Like that graphic that you spent weeks on.
Yeah.
Why does it look like there's a snack dick behind his ear?
Ehrlich walks in the room and he goes, hey, what the fuck is this? Are we an Irish porn company? And then again, as I mentioned, Jared, the character Jared, again, he's getting the best lines.
Donald. We learn his name is Donald.
Yes, we will. But Jared, again, trying to be helpful. He's always has his tablet there. Red. He always has his tablet, and he pulls up. He's like, "Well, Pied Piper is actually the story of a predatory flautist who murdered children in a cave." So I thought that was a funny one.
He said it with less enthusiasm than Ryan did.
Yes, that's very true.
Flautist is just generally a great.
Did you see the logo?
Predatory flat. I did.
Predatory.
What did you think of it?
Well, I mean, you can't disagree with the assessment.
I didn't know the Pied Piper murdered children in the cave. I thought he let the rats out of the village.
With a lot of the stories, the original sort of like grim
is dark.
Is generally pretty fucked up.
It's all Hans Christian. Everything. Christian Andersen. Everything is a witch trying to eat kids. Every fucking story.
And then they Christianized Anderson did. So it's more acceptable.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good logo.
It's not a good logo. It's a terrible company name.
It's not a good name, it's true.
Well, and that's Ehrlich. Later on, they do get the name. We'll get to that part, but they do get the name, and he gets a phone call. He's sitting on the sofa, and he's like, "Tell everyone." He's like, "Okay." And he's like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I work at Pied Piper."
Pied Piper. So, well, that's here we go, Red. So this is where Ehrlich is very upset with Pied Piper, and he gives Richard a speech. He goes, well, a company name really has to be something you can shout at the moment of orgasm. That's why I named my company Aviato. And he winks. Then from there, Dinesh, they jump in, and they're like, yeah, like, Oogle or Hulu. Richard tries a little bit with that of Pied Piper. That's funny.
What does Ehrlich say? He's like, do you actually hit that note during intercourse? It's not note, though. It's a very specific.
But again, we learn even more. The Aviato name, is because you can shout it during orgasm.
He mentions also later he went on a vision quest.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is taking a lot of drugs and going out to Sonora, California, which is kind of the desert area.
I really want to know how many of T.J. Miller's lines are written for him and how many are just him. Like, we need you to walk into the room and explain why Aviato is named that.
Yeah,
and
we'll shoot you for like 15,
and he just does
minutes.
it 20 times. And they're like, okay, that's the one. We're going to add that one later.
So I did want to put this to the group, actually. It's a question for the group here, because Ehrlich does go on this drug vision quest to find the perfect name. Yeah. He takes an entire bag of gold cap mushrooms.
Some psilocybin.
Yeah, that's a little crazy. Now,
he's just inside his own psych.
I'm an older man now, but I was certainly no stranger to...
you said you admitted to all of us you were in a theater troupe.
Yeah, I was
back in the theater major days.
Yeah. I was in the 6-hour-long Peer Gynt project.
There's no way you're doing that not on mushrooms.
Taking drugs. So my question here to open to the floor: does anyone have a very interesting hallucinogenic story that they'd like to like to share.
Everyone looks at Joe Tobin.
I have a brief story, but
no, man, I don't.
No, me neither.
you guys are all very clean.
That's not where I thought you were going.
Liars? They're liars.
No.
They're
Ryan?
fucking liars.
Wait, let me just point out that it's not a surprise to the other three of us that the theater major has a story.
Yeah, because you didn't have classes on Friday.
Yeah, I've gone deep.
You got time to recover.
I've gone deep.
You had Thursday and Friday to do whatever you wanted.
Listen, it's a real asshole thing that people should not be doing as adults, but there is real angst there over like the entire time. We're fucking like in a computer lab at 1 a.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that didn't
wasn't.
have a problem with that?
I wasn't.
I mean,
But is there no value in the result of, like?
Oh,
No, they missed out on all the parties I was at.
No, so that's
You
exactly
really missed out.
what exactly.
there
what
is
it
a bank account that says there's value.
That's what
in
I'm
that.
saying. Yeah.
Right. But when
That's true.
I think a lot of
Would you
engineers, a lot of tech
swap? Would you trade if you could? Would you rather have?
At this point, I've already
Some
done
theater.
it, so of course not. I've gone through the hard part. If you
And
asked me to go through it again
He found his wife partially
in
not
high
at all
school,
because of
unrelated
that.
to
Found her
that,
partially. Where's the rest of her?
yeah,
well,
we reattached her
That was
because I'm a
backyard.
very
Some in
technically
the
oriented
part of the
person.
holodeck.
And the good parts are in the bedroom. Yeah.
He
No,
ordered
I-
it from Aviato, and it was delivered overnight. The other
Look,
So-
you guys are squares. I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'll just put it this way.
Well, that's a great question. I'm
Take
glad
it
you asked
easy.
that.
Let's take it easy.
Well, I
with
thought
the,
maybe, you know. I'm just...
My biggest, I'll tell you my vision
Yeah.
quest that I had. I was playing World of Warcraft. I'm not gonna lie.
okay, that's
And
fine.
Was
I
it an
needed-
actual quest?
Yeah, this is such a nerdy fucking story to tell. But
I don't
I
like
needed
this.
my allergy medicine again.
wow.
Yeah, this digging my hole.
Oh boy.
So I'm like, hey wife, that's the unnerdy part of the story. Hey wife, can you please pass me my allergy pills?
Okay.
I didn't look.
Sexy.
She passed me a bottle.
Dirty talk.
It was Ambien.
All right.
So half hour later, I'm tripping
allergic to
fucking
being
balls, seeing double, and I go to stand up. I can't stand up.
And you
'cause
didn't
the
understand
Ambien's
why it
kicked
was
in.
happening.
I had no
Doesn't-
idea
I
why it's
see.
happening.
I see.
Really?
My
You're
wife,
seeing double? Doesn't Ambien just put you to sleep?
not if you fight it.
It's
Oh, you're fighting it. That's
Yeah.
Not intentionally, but I was,
Well,
I was
yeah,
finishing.
Fighting
it.
Ambien.
You were in the
The
middle of a
Jeff-
raid.
Apparently, you have a 15-minute window with those type of
Fighting
drugs. So
Ambien.
if
The
you
Jeff
fight
Reitman
it,
story.
then
It was an unintentional fighting.
This fall on Usenet.
Yeah, exactly. My wife's laughing her ass off.
fighting Ambien.
Fighting Ambien.
because she's drugged you.
Well, she didn't know, but she's like, haha, don't joke. Like, what's the ha ha ha? And I'm like, no, like, I seriously can't stand up. And then she looks over at the pill bottle. And that's when I almost killed her, but I couldn't because
Yeah, because you needed a
Ambien.
nap.
So do
That was
you,
3 o'clock in the
pretty good.
afternoon.
Do you still have Ambien available?
Fair
yes.
question.
This is Jeff Reitman's vision quest story.
Is the question.
3 o'clock in the afternoon at home
How
in
much-
front of the computer.
Ambien.
Too many sleeping pills.
Yeah, I need to wash them down with some alcohol against the label's advice.
The label just
No,
says
I've
don't
not,
operate heavy
boy.
machinery.
I've not dabbled too much in the hallucinogenics. Mostly just booze. A lot of booze.
I feel everyone has a window. I'll give it, 18 to 27 on the outside. But once you're older than that, don't cut it out.
Well,
Not-
theater
cut it
majors
out.
start at 18.
Not unless
Yeah.
you're a CEO.
Yeah. Well, then you can return
That's-
to it,
yeah.
or
I know-
a Hollywood writer. What is it? Sorkin? Sorkin had mushrooms on the plane. And he was
Probably.
pulled off the plane.
The White Wizard.
yeah.
Everyone knows the White Wizard. Quentin Tarantino's supplier.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to our
Okay,
podcast.
not
Well,
everyone,
cocaine's a little
not
different
everyone
than-
knows the White
You didn't know
Wizard.
that? He
What are you talking
claims
about?
so many times like not to do coke, and everyone's like, yeah, but there's a guy, an old guy, who apparently supplies coke to everyone in Hollywood, named the White Wizard. He's got
I
a
don't
real
doubt
name,
that.
but
I
that's
don't
what
doubt
everyone calls
Yeah.
it.
But I wouldn't lump cocaine in with like hallucinogenics.
His real name is Willie
like
Nelson.
mushrooms,
Is it Ian
and
McKellen?
LSD, and shit like that. But, all right. Anyhow, so
All right. Anyway,
the short version is again, this was gel tab acid. I think this was the early '90s.
Holy shit.
I think
Gel
I was, as the kids say, tripping for about 18 hours. I think the highlight was when everyone looked like birds, and I was unable to use or remember the English
So
language.
here's
for
a good
couple
question.
hours.
Wow.
Did you see Go?
did you use Java?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Was that
Back to
accurate?
episode 2.
Sure, that was ecstasy they were on, which is more of if you like grinding your teeth, for eaters, fuck that.
You
shit.
need to watch the YouTube video just to see Ryan do that facial
I like grinding
expression.
your teeth. Oh, this is. Well,
So
at the end of
have
episode 3, it's kind of weird that Ehrlich is actually doing a little teeth grinding, which really wouldn't be
So-
happening if he had good mushrooms. But he
So
is doing that at
mushrooms,
the end.
mushrooms check for you.
Oh, yeah.
Ecstasy?
Yes. unfortunately. I didn't enjoy it.
Crack didn't enjoy it.
Ecstasy, because sometimes it will be cut with strychnine.
What about heroin?
Whoa.
That's why you grind your teeth, because you have
That's not
poison
good.
in your
Heroin?
No. No needles.
No needles? Crack.
No.
Yeah, needles are fucking gross.
What do you mean no needles? You got tats on both arms.
That's why. To cover the train tracks. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, anyway, he goes Vision Quest. He gets high as fuck.
There you go. So then there's a whole
Look at
tripping
Jeff
scene.
bringing
because
us
he's
back
trying,
on
yeah,
track
he's
off the
trying to
drug
think. He's trying to
stories.
think of the name. So that's where Ehrlich is
boring.
during the episode. So he's out there, having his drug trip, right? So Richard goes down to, I want to talk about this. He goes down to Gilroy
Sure.
to talk to the owner of Pied Piper Irrigation.
Systems.
I want to talk about this too.
Okay, so he goes good.
The enthusiasm
Yeah.
there.
Oh, I have opinions about this.
It's
This
just
is-
been waiting
this
for the
is-
Gilroy
This is
part.
a goddamn garbage plot line.
There we go. So he goes
Oh,
down. He
man.
goes down. And
All
I
right.
definitely want Red to jump in
Better
on
put
this.
down this Ambien. It's about to get good.
Red's getting ornery.
Yeah, I know. So he goes down. He meets the
Rand's
owner
getting
of
ornery.
Pied Piper Irrigation, and basically, he says, "Boy, you remind me of my son with Asperger's. I'll get fine. I'll give you a name, $1,000." And he looks over across his lane. He goes, "Things like that. I hate those things. It's a server farm. It's a server farm." And so what Richard says is, "Well,
Data center.
with my compression algorithm, that means we don't need as much memory, and so you don't need as many server farms." Now, what I did want to share here, which I found interesting, is, and I think one of the plot lines in one of the Terminator movies talks about this, that in Silicon Valley is where Skynet's from, right? And I think this is interesting, is currently there are 22 server farms or data centers in Santa Clara County, where Gilroy is, which is south of
The valley.
Palo Alto, where their house is, the incubator house.
Certainly.
11 of these 22 have been built only in the last 4 years.
Red's like looking
Yeah.
at a map and like, yep.
Which is crazy. In the last 4 years, 11 of these massive, farms or data centers have been built. So actually, if you're looking for Skynet's probably
That's
in
where it
Santa
is.
Clara County right now. So I just found that interesting. But now, Red, how do you feel about this interaction with the guy and selling
It's
the
a
name?
pretty obvious. If you've ever named anything before, there's a very clear. If somebody else has registered the name, that's a problem. Only if it's in a domain that might possibly conflict with what you're doing. So, for example, the reason Apple Inc. exists and is called Apple, despite the fact that the previously existing Apple Music, which is the Beatles label, also existed, was because clearly Apple computers had nothing to do with music at the time. And is also why Apple Music sued the shit out of Apple.
Here's my counter argument to your argument. If you're irrigating cum through a snack dick,
Is that now? Is
Here
that
we are. Here
okay?
we are.
Is that true for incorporation? I know it's true for trademarking, but is it also true for the company name? Because I remember reading that during the whole Apple v. Apple stuff.
It's also
that for
partially
trademarking. Yeah, if you guys are in different industries. you can both
So keep
trademark.
in mind the reason that came up again was
Yeah.
because Apple started on iTunes.
Right.
So Apple Music
is now a music
sued
label.
the shit out of them.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm asking if you're wrong.
But wouldn't it be like a DB?
I'm not saying
yeah,
you're
no,
wrong.
I'm not saying. But I'm
No,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
I know,
No, that's
I know it's
legit.
absolutely true for trademarking. That if you're in
Well,
a different
then.
industry, then that's not going to be a
Yeah.
problem. But is it also true for the company name?
But if it's the exact same name, then it would be a DBA or doing business as issue, because the check that Richard has is basically made out to this company because
Right.
that's their name.
Right.
So I would think that to what you're saying, Apple Music and Apple Computers, one is probably doing business as something.
That was a big friction point. You should learn to talk in your microphone as a side note. But
I don't know how close I need to get this to my
not 6 inches
one.
away.
Check
Anyway,
two.
I
Snack
think the
dip.
whole thing with Apple was important, but I didn't have a problem with this show.
Oh, it was fine. It was. I actually really liked the farmer character.
The character was awesome.
I liked the negotiation. I felt bad for him asking for $1,000, knowing that he could get a lot more, and he's probably going to need the money a lot more than this dumb, fucking Tweety bitch ever will.
Who's living in the Aviato Fortune house,
Right.
which we find out briefly afterwards
Listen,
is apparently a fortune, but isn't.
Right.
Right. Well,
Right.
and keep in mind, if there's no actual dramatic tension about this, the question is whether or not he gets to be a billionaire. If things don't work out for him, either of the two people who have funded him will hire him on their company and pay him maybe not $600, but $200,000.
A good amount of money.
Yeah.
A more than good amount of money.
There's no world in which Richard is starving. So mostly I feel bad for the farmer in this episode.
So it's like
yeah.
Entourage for programmers.
Essentially, that's what the show is. And then
Except there's no like, oh yeah, right as they cut into the scene.
Jeff Reitman just encapsulated all of the series Entourage simply by going, "Oh yeah!"
I knew exactly what you're talking about. It is possibly the most I've ever agreed with Jeff Reitman ever. It's like, yeah, I can hear it after I close it. Oh yeah!
All right. All right, so speaking of Richard not being able to eat, right? So he makes a handshake deal with this guy. Says, "Yeah, I'll give you the name." So he's excited. He stops
right after I think one of the best quotes in the show. I'm going to harp on this again.
Oh yeah.
Which
was
is
that Turtles line or is that somebody else?
Oh shit.
No, not Turtles.
I don't want to talk about that fucking show. You guys excited for the movie, bros?
Yeah.
Speaking of cokeheads.
Anyway, one of the best lines after Snack Dick.
I'm gonna get that guy some Ambien. It got real over there.
After Snack.
I'm not talking about that fucking show.
The guy's kind of complaining about the data center and everything. Ends the whole rant with no one jerks off to magazines anymore. Like that was his sticking point.
Well,
but that's why there's giant data farms. I mean, let's be honest.
And very nostalgic about it.
Sticking point.
Yeah, see?
Look at this guy. Sticking point over here. Huh?
He didn't say it angrily. He said it.
No, he said it wistfully.
Wistfully is
Yeah.
the exact word. Yeah.
I guess a goddamn shame.
No,
Like
jerks
I
off to
remember when I was a
magazines
kid,
anymore.
I jerked off to magazines, and
Yeah.
now it's just data
Yeah.
centers.
Yeah, one woman for 10 years. June 1968.
Step by step, inch by inch. It felt like, anyway,
Yeah.
Niagara
Excellent.
Falls.
I'd memorize the articles backwards just to pass the time.
So Richard again does his handshake deal with the owner of Pied Piper Irrigation. He says, "Yeah, you can have the name." He's excited. So on his way home, he stops at Bevmo,
Right.
and picks up a margarita machine.
Now,
He's like, all right,
they don't say it's a Bevmo,
It's clearly a
but
bad
oh
one.
my fucking God,
that's
it's
a
Bevmo.
That's a Bevmo. That's a Bevmo.
I know that Chardonnay sign better than anybody.
Is Bevmo only in California? You guys know this?
It's
I know that
Southwest.
Chardonnay sign.
Yeah.
I feel like
I can see that too from one Tuesday
20 minutes
special.
ago, you're like, look at all this, this
Yeah.
fantastic booze that I have. I know that Chardonnay sign.
I feel like-
You've seen that wet bar.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a dry bar.
It's a dry bar, but
Dry
the
bar.
fact, just because I have a dry bar doesn't mean I don't enjoy Chardonnay at a discount.
No, not at all. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying it adds to your the credibility.
I feel
Two
like
for one wines? I'm all about that.
Chardonnay is a very rookie wine reference if you're going for a white wine.
is.
It's
It
behind
Is
the
it the
go with
early
like- It is the
1980s?
actual wine
Gewürztraminer or something,
behind
you know.
him.
like-
There you
like
go.
a class.
There
a
you
class.
go.
It's not my fault
Yeah.
they shot it at the wrong
I
angle.
thought you were comedians.
So he stops in this
the same
this
thing said about
Bevmo. It's
Kennedy.
not called. It is
is a
Bevmo.
Bevmo.
And he picks up the margarita machine. Now, there's a very funny interaction with the clerk, saying, "Yeah, I had 3 startups, but you know, like it was this terrible app of like how do you find your car in a parking lot, and it's basically
By writing down
type down
where you are in the
P3,
parking lot.
You know, he's like, why do you need an app? So that's funny. But the clerk says something. Yeah, I had 3 startups, but those assholes on Sand Hill Road didn't give me a break.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna bring that up. Sand Hill Road.
is a road.
It's a road in Menlo Park, California.
Is that a winery?
Okay.
Do they make Chardonnay?
No,
I'm sure there's probably a tasting room on Sand Hill
Sorry,
Road.
I didn't mean to sidetrack.
Now,
your-
If there
I-
is Chardonnay
I'm just curious.
on Sand Hill
Does
Road.
the phrase "the Wizard of Menlo Park" mean anything to anybody?
Yes.
Yes,
Isn't
but
that Edison?
but that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
California.
He's related
right?
to the White Wizard,
Just curious.
who supplies Tarantino's.
I always wondered
Fascinating
if
guy,
this
Edison.
Menlo Park was named after California's Menlo
Probably.
Park was named after Edison's Menlo
Presumably.
Park,
Anyway.
which was in Pennsylvania, correct?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so Menlo Park again.
Like it's Jersey.
Edison,
Yeah.
New Jersey, no less.
So when you get down to
Oddly
Soviet,
enough.
That
there's
fucking brainiac in
Yeah.
our state.
there's all these little towns. So you have Palo Alto, Menlo Park, Santa Clara, etc.
Plus the
Menlo
Philadelphia
Park.
people
This is
say
where
Jersey.
Sand Hill Road is. So again, this is clearly called out in this episode. Those assholes on Sand Hill Road. So Sand Hill Road is an area where all the venture capital firms are.
It's
There
the-
are 39 venture capital firms.
It's the
on
K
that
Street
road,
of startups.
Which is insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much money.
Just money, just all the-
I'm curious.
all the
Has
money.
anyone had any experience dealing directly with VC firms
I've
or
never-
or VC assholes?
VCs, yes.
Okay, let's talk about
Sand Hill, no.
that. Okay.
And not a couple VCs, mostly angel investors, which is a whole nother demon.
Well, we can talk about it briefly.
Peter Gregory might be an angel.
He's like
might
above
be a
Angel,
VC.
right?
It might be a super angel.
Which is a real term.
I don't get the sense that
not like with superpowers.
Peter works with anyone else.
So a venture capitalist is somebody who's essentially a company who is trying to is focused on profitability through starting, funding other companies and getting a percentage of the company.
Like Shark Tank.
Sure.
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
That's basically what venture capital.
An angel investor is technically the same thing, but generally there's one person at the head of it, and
they usually go in real early.
Yeah, they go in real early, and they're investing in they're sort of more of a mentor position, and they're investing in things that they maybe believe in more as a personal matter.
I would say they also tend to more shotgun approach.
Yeah,
where they just throw $10,000 at a lot of little companies and hope one of them does something.
Yeah,
VCs do that, but with like millions.
With more money. Usually. Yeah. Well, VCs actually tend to deal in higher amounts of money because they're already millionaires.
Joe's looking inquisitively.
Correct.
They're already millionaires, and they're looking at making billions of dollars. So they want the next Facebook. If you're
Viet Cong.
Yeah, Viet Cong.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Viet Congs.
The Viet Cong have millions of
they run
dollars.
Silicon Valley.
The man in the black pajamas.
It's the untold story.
On Sand Hill Road in Menlo Park.
No wonder we wanted to win that war so bad.
I don't know why we went over to Vietnam.
Now I know why.
We could have just gone to Sand Hill Road.
But but I mean, I wanted to bring this up because again, the reality for our listeners outside of the Bay Area, outside of that's true. Nice reference. But again, this is all very real. Again, you have 25 server farms or data farms there. You have 39 venture capital firms on one road. This is all real. This is why Silicon Valley, again, there's a show about it, but it's kind of creepy that it's all right
and
there.
Peter Gregory's believable
really
as
running the world
angel.
From there. Yeah,
as a quirky angel.
Oh yeah,
he's totally believable.
Yeah,
it's
so Peter Gregory on topic.
Yeah,
this episode, he has two guys who desperately need money. Having been there at one point at my startup, we needed money to pay next week. And we were going around basically begging people for any money to pay our employees. And I made $11,000 that year. # humble brag. But my employees made normal-ish salaries, right?
Yeah.
So
you didn't owe any income taxes.
You're right. I did not owe. My wife had a normal salary.
Yeah,
so
well, you had shares. You had shares.
Normal.
I had
which is a cap table. A cap table. This is brought up in episode
I want to go
2.
back to Peter Gregory.
Go ahead.
These two guys desperately wanting money. No. Peter Gregory comes in obsessed with Burger King. And that's all he wants to talk about.
In his weird Asperger's way.
And he's just obsessed with Burger King. He has his assistant order one of everything on the Burger King menu.
I assume they only serve burgers, of which they are kings? It's the only time he amuses himself with that line. Yeah.
So then he goes to try.
It makes me so sad that actor died.
Yes.
Yes.
That's sad.
Did you not know that?
No, I knew, but they told me not to bring it up.
Yeah, because Ryan depressed the hell out of it.
Well, we can't bring it up every fucking episode.
See?
Well, we didn't bring it up the last episode.
Right.
So,
you flinched like it was a relative. I was like very concerned.
We went there.
Odd number episodes
Ixnay
only.
on the Ed Day.
So he's staring at all these sandwiches and various products.
The entire Burger King menu.
Not anymore. He's not, because he died.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Dead men can't stare.
Well, but that statement would still hold true if he's alive.
Sexy Embalming says
it was done in the
otherwise.
past.
It's a reference to one of our videos. Go check it out. But he's looking at the burgers, obsessing about sesame seeds. It all ties together at the end.
You're right.
Where the guys are finally like, would you stop talking about fucking Burger King? We need fucking money. And he goes, well, I just invested in sesame seed futures
in Indonesia.
A very detailed explanation as to why he did.
Exactly.
Which was great. If any of that's true, I'm like, we should buy some of this
two
stock
cicada
too.
populations.
Yeah, cicada populations like hatching at the same time.
Brazil.
It was very well researched. I'm like, this is true. I should invest the $230 in my savings account.
I should jump on this before the ratings of your show pick up.
Before everybody hears our wonderful recap, I should get on board.
Look, the cicada thing is real. So I don't know. You guys are from
Did you
Philly.
Google this?
No. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio.
We had cicadas.
You have the 17-year cicadas. So every 17 years in Cincinnati, it's a plague. It's you walk outside and they get on your hair and they get all over you.
No.
And
I don't remember that.
That's crazy.
Some,
no, I don't remember
that's in Cincinnati.
it was last
That's
year,
why
right?
no one lives in Ohio.
last year, right?
I'm sure it was.
Because I remember because we went to New York and I had never heard of this before in my life, and it's like literally as soon we were still in the plane, and as soon as we like crossed past Cincinnati, it was like it was all we heard about until we left New York. It's like this fucking cicadas, they're everywhere.
I remember it was 1986, at least when I experienced it, and it was insane.
Now, are you sure you weren't just really high on mushrooms?
In 1986?
Knowing you.
Now people are trying to figure out how old I am.
That was pre-theater major.
Yeah. Any story that he has about cicadas is now dubious.
I'm 73 years old, and because of mushrooms, that's why I look so young.
What moisturizer?
Yeah, well, mushrooms, gold cap mushrooms.
Moral of the story: he funds their shortage with the promise of this revenue from sesame seeds. And then last thing he says is like cumin. Is there cumin in this sauce?
Yeah, he's eating.
And this music starts playing again, like like the Beautiful Mind music. Like, all right. So meanwhile, so that's the whole subplot. Meanwhile, all right. So we've got Richard down there trying to figure out to get the name from this guy in Gilroy, picking up the margarita machine. Back at the incubator, they figured, yes, he's not going to be able to get Pied Piper, so we have to rename it. They all hate Pied Piper. And there's a whole scene with a whiteboard with Jared, again, getting some of the best lines, I'm telling you, in front of Dinesh and
no one's disputing you yet. I'm telling you guys.
Okay, so I love this scene.
We've been arguing for hours.
Yeah, I love the scene so much that I did do a freeze frame. I noticed actually the AV Club with the Onion beat me to this, but I did a freeze frame of everything that was written on the whiteboard, all right? Which
I want it name by name.
There was a lot. I picked out my favorites.
So we cut to the scene where Jared's explaining smaller, but they can't get small. Well, he gets rid of all the vowels.
So we have SMLLR first.
Which could be smeller.
Exactly. So then he drops an L. So now we have SMLR.
And they're like Smiler?
Smiler. That's not good.
Meanwhile, there's like 30 other names on the
whiteboard. 30 other names in there. So I picked out my favorites here. So again, what does it do? It compresses, right? So you're thinking of how they were. So what does it do? What is it? Right. So my favorites were Shrink with a Y. Actually not bad.
That's not a bad name.
The Littler. Littler, I like that. Let's Get Small. I'm not really trying on that one. Tiny Osei. Tiny Osei.
Tiny Osei, is that Kevin's?
Wait, is that Kevin's brother?
Tiny Small is a Steve Martin album.
Kevin O'Shea's brother, Tiny Osei.
Wait a minute.
It's a good album.
Let's Get Small is...
Let's Get Small is a Steve Martin record.
Let's Get Small. Oh,
there
you go.
It's a good one.
It's, I would say, is probably the best one.
Yeah, it's probably some hidden things in there. All right. Scrunch. I like that one. Then Tiny Dancer. Why not? Why not?
Also has a multimedia reference.
Then you can see that they got on something with Wayne.
Tiny
so there was
Dancer.
the Wayne, the Wainer. Make it Wayne and it's Waning Men. I don't know why they got on that.
Well, probably from Tiny Dancer. They started going through songs.
The Wee Machine. The Wee Machine. W-E-E machine. The Dwarf Ray and Dwarf It. Dwarf It. So that's just on the whiteboard, right?
Right.
But we go
now,
back.
Dwarf is a name for symbol file.
It's a medical condition. Oh, no. You're talking about Dwarf Sims debugging symbols.
We're not supposed to say dwarf anymore.
D-Sims.
Right? Dwarf is bad.
Well, that's actually a good point.
I've lost track of
dwarf symbols are a real thing that if you are
Dwarf
working...
symbols.
Listen, if you're working in computers, sometimes there's this slave hard drive and a master hard drive. That's the reality we live in.
Now.
Okay.
Sometimes you're debugging and there are...
12 years.
And there are dwarfs.
And there are dwarf
where
symbols.
You're like, where are the dwarfs?
That's... Yeah, where are they? If there are no dwarfs, you are very angry, by the way.
There might be an elf
positive.
with no dwarf, and you're like, what the...
I was promised a dwarf.
Yeah.
Look, see, this one I like to talk to.
Joe was...
Well, no, I was gonna throw in a... Well, finish your thought.
No,
I'm just
Brian
saying,
will keep talking.
No,
we'll be 20 minutes
I
later.
won't keep talking. I think it's important because Red brought this up and saying, no, it's in programming language. You know, there's a slave hard drive.
It wasn't a programming
dwarf
language.
Symbols
That require you listening.
But the thing is, no, it doesn't mean anything. Well, of course it does, because white male men name them those things. It's just, we'll call this the slave, and we'll call this the dwarf.
And there's no white male dwarfs. So that
there are no white male dwarfs.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, they're all Latino.
There's only Peter Dinklage.
Female. They're all hot, sexy. When was the last time you saw a hot, sexy dwarf? It hasn't happened.
This is questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of stumped there.
Anyway, Joe
Tobin, you want to take that one?
Hot dwarf thing. I'm thinking. I guess when I saw one of the Hobbit films, a couple of there's a couple of dudes that are clearly not.
I'm pretty sure that was actually one of the guys from Flight of the Conchords.
Really?
Probably.
The sexy Latino one?
I don't know about the Latino one.
Yeah, it was
There's
the
a
elf.
couple of good-looking dudes. They just are pretending are dwarfs, but are not.
Factoid there, I believe, like in 2002, 2003, the majority of New Zealand's GDP was beholden to the Lord of the Rings movies. That's a fact. It's bizarre.
A fact.
I like that you managed to use beholden in there. That's very Lord of the Rings-ish.
Yeah, indeed.
Your income is beholden.
Beholden.
So again, there's the whiteboard
gross domestic
there.
product was beheld by Peter Jackson.
Yeah, there's the whiteboard there. Now, Jared again gets this great line. As I mentioned, I was getting you ready for this. A great line. He's like, "How about dwarfism 2.0?" Dinesh says, "Where?" Guilfoyle says, "Where's dwarfism 1.0?" Jared, in the world. That's funny.
He's
All
so
right.
magically aloof in his own little world.
I like.
All right.
Even comedically, I feel like Big Head was a liability. I'm glad we've jettisoned him.
Yeah, well, he's gonna.
Everybody else
he's
on
our
this team is
inside
so
man.
good.
He's our inside man. Well, I'm
All
sure
right.
we'll see him, but he's not part of the incubator
Sure.
anymore. Right?
He had a very small part in this episode.
So we're pushing. Oh, another great line of the Hitler of music. Justin Bieber is the Hitler of music. Jared's line is, "Well, Hitler actually played bassoon, so Hitler is the Hitler of music." That's another great line.
Joe, what do you think of Hitler?
He was a great bassoon player.
It was all
Very
really
underrated. Underrated as a bassoon player. He played bassoon for S4, I believe. S4, some of their gigs.
Call back.
SS4.
I was that in the previous episode. That's a great guy.
So that last episode,
So it's a Nazi barbershop quartet.
I've lost track
with
of time.
Hitler
I forget
playing
which episode
bassoon.
that was.
Wow. Okay.
Is that not episode 3 we discussed?
I have no
SS4?
idea. I don't know.
I
don't know
assume
anymore.
most people are going to be so rapidly.
It was
excited
on this
about-
one. It was earlier.
It was this one, yes.
Okay.
So we can double check.
Next.
All right, so
This is why I should have worn two
pushing
shirts.
us through here. I'm pushing us through. So as we know, they're coming up with the names. Richard comes back. He goes, "No, guess what? I've got the name." They're not very excited about that. Fuck, we're Pied Piper. Now, Ehrlich released to some of the tech websites saying we're very excited about launching Pied Piper. Combined, our assets are worth billions. So the owner of the irrigation company, Pied Piper, gets upset and says, "Fuck you."
He calls
I want
Richard.
$250,000.
Right.
Oh, no, you don't. And Richard, again, tries to be the asshole. Remember, thematically, be the asshole. And everyone's like, wow, you told him off. He said, no, he's on his way up here to beat me up. So they're very, oh, shit, here comes this tough irrigation farmer guy from Gilroy. Jared again.
Hold on.
Yep.
What was the one thing you learned from this episode, Joe Tobin?
Don't fuck with farmers from Gilroy. Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not
Listen,
what I was going to say.
true.
Do you know
yes.
The
how?
one thing I learned was that guy died. He's not going to be in season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if did he finish all the episodes?
They do not screw around. They took their rival neighbor city and to embarrass them, made them into a teenage clothing line. That's why we have Hollister today.
Oh, yeah. For
That was
those,
Gilroy. Gilroy's garlic capital of the world.
I
Gilroy
was
is the
actually
garlic
gonna say
capital
the
of the
garlic. I was
world.
gonna
They have a
mention that.
garlic festival. You can get garlic ice cream. When you even drive through, you can
reeks.
smell garlic. For those of you who haven't been by Gilroy, it really is. It's just garlic town. It is garlic town.
So what I was going to say I learned from this whole scene was that if someone is going to fight you, that yelling your name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
You
All
want
right.
to?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yelling your name
Well, here-
repeatedly makes you more humanized.
Exactly. Joe Tobin, if you can read for me again, because as I mentioned,
What am I reading?
Jared gets the best lines. So now he's driving up from Gilroy. He's going to beat them up, and Jared again with one of the best lines says,
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah. What is that word?
Keep screaming your name.
What is that word?
It scares your.
scares.
Or forces your assailant.
Forces.
Forces
Yeah,
your
it's definitely an
assailants.
F.
yeah.
Now,
to
see, this
acknowledge
is
you
where
as a
we
human.
learn.
Yeah.
Keep
Ryan as
screaming your
Taylor.
name.
That's what. Yeah.
It forces your assailant to acknowledge you as a human.
Keep screaming your name. It forces your assailant
And so he
to
screams,
acknowledge
wait,
you're a
this
human.
name is.
Wait, no.
No, wait.
Don't spoil. Don't spoil.
No spoilers.
So,
I don't know if I'm capable. Was that English?
no,
No.
it is not. It's probably Chinese.
You wrote down some Korean symbols.
I did.
But he also, it looks like a U because he doesn't know how to put A's on paper.
That's not the.
Geniuses
But the
have
best
bad
part about the
handwriting,
way
I'm just
Jared
saying.
says this is it clearly came from a place of knowledge. Like this is something that he has used
He's used.
Yeah.
and has proven effective.
But at that moment, that's when we also learn that Jared is not even his name.
well, he says you scream your name and like name stick. He says name stick. My name's not even Jared. It's Donald. But
Gavin
kept calling me that, and it stuck. And then Richard immediately goes, "Okay, Jared." So
that was my favorite part of that joke. Was it just even
Okay,
in
Jared.
the point of Even the part when he's trying to address that, he still doesn't.
He's never going to be Donald.
Yeah.
He's never going to be Donald.
So we know this.
And no one even thinks like, oh, wow, really? That's wow, I didn't realize it. They're just like, yeah, whatever.
No, in this world, they've all had their identities taken over by some jock at some point.
Jared feels like he's been beaten just beaten down so much that he is always going to be subservient to whatever.
He has ghost-like features. The first time he meets Ehrlich, he bows and apologizes. I don't know why I did that.
I don't know why I did
you
that.
have kingly features. So anyhow, this is their plan, and all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock at the door. Here he is. Here's the guy from Gilroy. He's come to beat up Richard. One of the interns opens the door. It's a very funny interchange. He gets into the house. He's confused, thinking, well, where's the big company? Aren't you guys billionaires? Gets in, and they immediately begin just...
Well, Richard knocks over a lamp, drawing attention that they were hiding.
So
and then
he comes in, the tough guy comes in, and he just begins with... let's just try it all together. Which is Ryan. I'm Ryan.
Jeff.
Ryan.
Ryan.
Red.
Jeff.
Ryan.
Red.
Jeff.
I'm Red.
Jin Yang.
Ryan.
Jin Yang.
And that's
Jin Yang. That's the intern.
who joins in.
He has no idea what's going on.
He wasn't part of the conversation, just starts repeating his name as well. It's Jin Yang. Jin Yang. Jin Yang. Wonderful scene. Wonderful. Again, it's definitely episode 3. This is some Mike Judge, Office Space, Idiocracy humor really shining through. It's pretty good.
Well, sure. And with any comedy, I just want to say, like, if you watch any comedy, they're generally the pilots in the first couple episodes are bad because until you establish the character, there's nothing to play off of, and so they're just very heavy on the exposition.
It's also writing. They haven't figured out who the characters are necessarily.
Sure. I mean,
the improv.
Famously, the first whole season of Parks and Rec was pure garbage. I mean, the first 10, I'd say certainly the first 6 episodes of 30 Rock were really rough. It's probably past episode 11s where they really took off. Community, 4 or 5 episodes were iffy. I mean, it's pretty common that when a comedy starts out.
Yes, Joe. You made a facial expression on Community. Would you like to
you're
comment?
clearly well, you guys should watch the Mindy Kaling show.
A lot of those shows were iffy.
Well, they were.
A lot of them.
But that one's called
really
the Mindy
bad.
Project. I thought we were upset.
Wait,
with
which
things that had Project at the end.
The Mindy Project started off much stronger than any of those shows.
Yeah, I've seen
not as good as the Peer Gynt Project.
I'm not a big Community fan. I don't care for that show.
I like it a lot.
I would go with Parks and Rec over Community. I would agree with you on that.
I think you're not getting invited back.
Wow, you go with Community over Parks and Rec?
I love everybody in both shows.
Those are both great shows.
That's fair.
I would say week to week Parks and Rec and Community, as long as we're talking Dan Harmon Community
and Archer,
and not acknowledging season 4.
Archer.
So specific.
Archer Vice, you need to watch if you're not watching it.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
very true. Very true. Well, good. So, and that's kind of anyhow. The wrap up here is he does make the deal. He earns the respect of the guy by being the asshole, sticking up for himself, being the asshole.
How much does he pay eventually?
$1,000.
$1,000.
After trying
gets
unsuccessfully to get it at $500
for a guy who's probably probably netting $38,000 this year,
if he's lucky.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ehrlich is still on his vision quest.
Which he didn't make it to Sonora because of traffic. He has been locked in a gas station bathroom
and
for
returns
2 days.
home with a Latino kid after a quite hilarious scene.
Yeah. And again, grinding the teeth. So he's still tripping when he shows up in the Aviato.
The season basically ends.
What do we call it?
The episode ends with an Amber Alert being broadcast for this kid that Ehrlich has brought home. And Jared reading the line like, I just got an Amber. Do you know the kid's name? Do you write it down?
Yes, it's Rogelio Nunez. There's an Amber Alert put out because
that's just made it
real.
I'm
kidnapped him. Apparently, I don't know what happened there. But as we can see, he's got the name, which means that he will be able to become incorporated, which means that he can cash the check. So this is so we know they're on their way.
You would think that would be the easiest Amber Alert because it's a dude in an Aviato Mini Cooper.
When it comes on at 1 a.m., you ever see the test when the Amber Alert comes on?
Usually it's a silver Honda, and you're like, well, fuck. I ain't ever finding that car. But it's like
a white unmarked van. I was already looking at those creepily. What do you want from me?
He might as well.
Also, I think it's important to learn here that as Jared is helping them get set up for the company, he gets a call of, we have someone, we have a work visa issue. And, of course, he looks at Dinesh and he goes, it's not me. It's Guilfoyle, who is a Canadian who is here illegally.
What was the line he said? Your borders.
You're Your borders are just a concept.
Yeah.
Or a construct.
They don't apply to me.
He's like, what did you just walk across? He's like, yeah, my car broke down. I just kind of
It's very funny. So Dinesh takes Guilfoyle down to get the visa, which he gets in 45 minutes. And of course, it took Dinesh
5 minutes.
5 years. It took Dinesh 5 years. He said, before I could find parking, Guilfoyle already had his work visa, which is absolutely true, by the way. It is absolutely true.
I know a guy at work.
Yeah.
He's the most benign looking dude, but he is
white.
He's
Is that what you're
Bangladeshi.
saying?
But yeah, he gets screened at the airport all the time.
Oh, yeah?
He's the most harmless dude you will ever meet. Such a goof.
It is just.
But
I love with the commentary of Canadians literally just walk in.
But Dinesh is talking about how, like, they asked me about Al-Qaeda over and over again, and the Canadians just like, I'm here.
Before
what do you got?
I could find parking. He's already holding it. Absolutely true, which is crazy. So that was episode 3. It's a great episode. But guess what, guys? It is time for the Scrum Masters quiz.
Are you ready, Joe?
I'm ready. I'm ready to redeem myself.
Okay. So question
victory.
1 of the 3 questions of the Scrum Masters quiz. We're going to start with this one. What is Google's unofficial internal slogan or motto? Google's unofficial internal slogan or motto.
Yeah, no, it's suck it.
He's going with suck it.
Joe?
Oh, we have to give fake answers.
Gesturing to the generals.
You can give real answers if you know the real answer, but the fake
I think
answer
I know the
will get
real
you more
answer, but
points.
I'm going to try. I'm going to say
Don't be a weevil.
never in China.
Never in China. Never in China. I like that.
I got a better. No, good.
No, go ahead.
No, that's good. I'll stick with that.
I like never in China.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. Jeff, you want to give it a shot?
I was going to be on time always.
On time always. That's a better slogan. That, of course, is for, say it with me, Aviato. Aviato. No, it is don't be evil.
Yeah.
Don't be evil. That's actually true.
Oh, the
Don't
real
be
one?
evil.
What's happening?
Don't be evil. Well, no one said it. No one said it.
He's always going to say the real one, but we're supposed to come up with a better one. He doesn't get how the game works.
I want to say the real one.
Yeah.
You can say the real one, but you'll just be wrong even if you say the real one.
Correct. That's correct.
Or is it wrong?
Go ahead. Next question. Please read it.
No, they're coming out of my head right now. I'm going to go with, how are Python and Perl related? How are Python and Perl related?
They're second cousins.
Second cousins?
I will say sometimes at night when I get excited, my python shoots pearls.
Ooh.
And
I'm gonna say
I find them in the morning.
I don't want to sit next to Jeff when I come back for episode 4 or 5 tomorrow.
One of you guys has to do the right answer.
Tomorrow.
That's going to be the
I can barely describe.
We're going to recap of episode 4 before it airs.
I can't joke about this because the difference is that Python is way better than Perl. That's the difference.
Oh, it's a programming thing.
Yeah, it's a programming thing.
Okay, I thought you just were picking
Joe,
some nouns.
you got anything?
Now I got it. I can
Perl
picture
is an
those
insult.
fucking books.
Perl is
an
an insult,
answer.
and
Perl,
Python
are
is
shaking
gotcha.
It's a real programming language.
Real nice people.
Do they both involve Guido Van Rossum? I don't know.
I don't know about
What is it, Rye?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a good guess. I'm sorry. Again, it's off the top of my head. It's actually a brother and sister pro wrestling duo, Python and Perl.
I'd believe that. I totally believe that.
Okay, everybody. This is the last question of the Scrum Masters quiz.
It'd be ECW, by the way.
Yeah, it would definitely be.
Yeah.
Or APW, which is a local Bay Area.
Whatever acting troupe they're working
All Pro
for.
Wrestling. Check it out. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you're talking about that's some good shit, man.
Okay. What is we're going to go with this one. Again, Scrum Masters quiz. Sometimes you get a curveball. What is Rowdy Roddy Piper trying to get Keith David to do? What is Rowdy Roddy Piper
now
trying
for those?
to get
I've got
Keith
this one.
David to do?
He's trying to get him to pass a regular bowel movement, pretty clearly in his expressions.
I'm going to go with harvesting sesame seeds in Myanmar.
Ooh.
I'm going to tie it back to the episode.
Myanmar.
I
was gonna. Oh, that was the last. I was gonna say he's trying to get him to Kanban, but that was our last episode.
That's the new hottest restaurant in San Francisco, Kanban.
Oh, it's so good.
It's sesame seeds directly from Myanmar. They're really good.
Myanmar, in this case, is actually a dude. That his hair collects sesame seeds.
Oh.
I think we should just keep on rolling to episode 4.
Let's just keep going
before it airs. Like,
Keep going.
anybody can do an episode recap like 2 days after it airs. You guys want to get
Let's
some market
go all
share.
the way through
How about
now.
Sunday afternoon before it airs.
Let's do a quick prediction. What do you think is going to happen in episode 4?
I'm going to say in episode 4.
TJ Miller does something wacky.
By the way, the answer of what is Roddy Piper getting trying to get Keith David to do is put the glasses on. Put the glasses on.
Put the glasses on.
For those of you keeping
That was
score.
a great impression of Ryan doing an impression of Roddy Piper.
It was meta.
They Live,
Howdy,
everybody.
Roddy
Check it out.
Piper,
It's a
man.
wonderful
Those were the
movie.
days.
It's on Blu-ray now. Check it out.
Were
They
they?
Live.
Okay.
I'm not certain they
Those
were.
were the
Red
days, man.
Scott. Prediction for episode 4.
Prediction for episode 4. I like that.
Yeah. No, prediction for episode 4.
Didn't they show you? Wasn't it like a...
Episode 4 will be the first episode where they
briefly.
aren't worried about money.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're probably right. For that 30 minutes, you win. There's no way we can
Do you
talk
need a minute?
around that.
No, I'm still thinking.
Okay,
I don't
my-
like to guess. I like to let it unfold.
my
actually, you could be
suspicion-
wrong. You
hold
could be
on.
wrong.
That, what was his name? Nunez?
Rogelio Nunez.
Rogelio Nunez
Yeah.
is going to turn out to actually be a genius programmer and is going to get hired as CEO
You think that kid's going to appear in the
of
episode
Aviato.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am actually pretty sure that Ehrlicher owns 10% of his company.
It's Ehrlich, by the way.
He's
It's
never
not
going to
Ehrlich.
get it right. Anything, Joe?
I don't like to guess, man. I like to let, especially with a comedy, I like to let it just unfold before me. I like to be surprised.
I'm going to nail it. Red thinks he's got it. I'm going to nail it. What happens in episode 4 is we still don't learn what Aviato does.
Yes.
That kind of
Pretty much nailed that.
Now, here,
Yeah.
real quick question. Does anyone think we're going to learn Donald's last name ever?
Duck.
No, I don't think so.
It would
No,
be
I have
hilarious
no
if it was
idea.
Duck.
Of Jared?
Yeah.
I don't know. if
But,
it's
or like, what's the
mentioned.
French? Does
We'll have
anybody
to
know
do
any
some
French? Like, what's the
work on
French word
that.
for duck? I bet that's what it is. Because he's from Canada. He's probably from Quebec, just for laughs.
Jared isn't
It's,
from Canada.
I think
Oh,
it's,
sorry, I got him mixed up
Yeah, yeah.
with
Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle.
Jared,
I
Jared's
believe-
probably from like Kansas.
I believe
or something,
Hadoop.
Yeah.
Hadoop means duck.
Hadoop is French.
That's
for
the
duck.
dupe. All right.
I'm telling you,
wanna
I am
wrap it up?
rewarding
There we
repeat
go,
viewers
everybody.
tonight.
That was our episode 3 recap of Judging Silicon Valley, the Silicon Valley show. Again, we want to thank Joe Tobin.
Thank you.
Again,
I can't wait to see the episode. I'm very excited.
indeed.
To
Where
see
can,
it.
where can we catch you again? Your website?
JoeTobin.com.
JoeTobin.com. It's pretty easy,
for all
everybody.
things JT related.
TOBIN. There you go. And Red Scott, again, and where can we catch you, Red?
On Twitter, red_Scott.
There you go. There you go. Again, I've been Ryan Cronin. This is Jeff Reitman.
Still.
Indeed.
Oh,
Thanks
I'd like
for listening,
that.
watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.